Improving yourself doesn't require dramatic overnight changes. It's not about making a huge leap in one day or expecting to transform instantly. The secret to long-term success lies in making small improvements every day, just 1% better each day. When you commit to this simple, consistent approach, over time, you'll find yourself achieving things you once thought were impossible. In this audiobook, we're going to talk about exactly how you can improve yourself step by step. We'll explore how making tiny, positive changes every single day can lead to massive growth in your life. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. By focusing on the little wins, you'll build the foundation for lasting change. Every small effort counts, and when you look back, you'll realize how far you've come. Stay tuned, because we're diving into practical strategies and insights that will help you make progress daily and ultimately achieve the life you've always wanted. So let's get started on this journey of growth, one step at a time. Chapter 1. Small efforts lead to big results. There's a reason why most people never reach their full potential. It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they aren't smart enough or strong enough. It's because they overlook one of the simplest, most powerful principles of success: small efforts, repeated every single day. That's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. Most people think they need to take massive action to change their lives. They believe they have to wake up one day and completely transform everything overnight. But that's why they fail. They start big, burn out fast, and give up before they see any results. The truth is, real success doesn't work like that. Growth isn't about making one giant leap. It's about making small, steady improvements, just 1% better every day. That's it. It doesn't sound like much, but over time, that 1% adds up to something extraordinary. The problem is, most people don't trust the process. They want results now. If they don't see instant progress, they assume it's not working. But here's the reality. Every single time you make a small improvement, even if you can't see it, you're moving forward. You're stacking up wins. You're building momentum. And once you have momentum, nothing can stop you. Think about it like this. If you started today and committed to improving just a little each day, in 1 year, you wouldn't just be 365% better. No, you'd be nearly 38 times better than you are right now. That's the power of compounding growth. But if you waste time waiting for the perfect moment to start, or if you keep making excuses, nothing changes. That's the harsh truth most people don't want to face. Time will pass, no matter what. The only question is, will you be better a year from now, or will you be stuck in the exact same place? If you want to get ahead in life, you have to stop underestimating small efforts. Because the small things, they matter. Waking up 10 minutes earlier, reading just one page of a book, exercising for 5 minutes, writing down your goals, it all counts. You don't need to do something extreme to change your life. You just need to do something every single day. And the best part, it's not overwhelming. It's not intimidating. It's just 1%. Anyone can do that. The reason most people don't stick with it is because they don't feel the results immediately. Let's say you start working out today. You won't see a difference tomorrow. You won't even see a difference next week. But if you stay consistent, after a month, 2 months, 6 months, you'll look back and realize just how much you've changed. That's how all great transformations happen. Slowly, quietly, day by day. Success is not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about showing up and doing the work, no matter how small. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who had everything handed to them. They're the ones who kept going when nobody was watching. They're the ones who didn't need motivation to take action. They just decided that improving a little each day was non-negotiable. Most people will never do this. They'll hear this message and nod their heads, but when it comes time to actually put in the work, they'll find a reason to delay. They'll say, "I'll start next week," or "I'm just too busy right now." And before they know it, another year has passed and they're still in the same spot, wondering why nothing has changed. Don't let that be you. You don't need to wait for the right moment to start. The right moment is now. Right here, right in front of you. It's about making the choice to be just a little better today than you were yesterday. It doesn't have to be complicated. Read an extra page, take an extra step, do one extra thing that pushes you forward. That's all it takes. And if you ever feel like quitting, remember this: the effort you put in today is shaping your future. Every choice you make, every small step you take, is leading you somewhere. The question is, are you moving in the right direction? Or are you letting another day slip away, doing nothing, waiting for things to magically change? 1 year from now, you will look back and either be grateful that you started today, or you'll wish that you had. The choice is yours. But if you're serious about success and want to change your life, don't waste another second. Start now. Improve yourself 1% every day and watch what happens. Chapter 2. Why most people fail to improve. Most people never improve. Not because they aren't capable, but because they don't understand why they keep failing. It's not a lack of intelligence, not a lack of opportunity, not even a lack of motivation. It's something deeper, something that happens in the mind before a person ever takes action. The reason most people fail to improve is because they are stuck in a cycle of excuses, comfort, and hesitation. They convince themselves they'll do it later, that they'll start when they feel ready, that it's just not the right time yet. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect time. There is no magical moment when everything aligns and suddenly you feel motivated to change your life. Improvement doesn't happen when you wait. It happens when you take action, even when you don't feel like it. The problem is, most people don't want to do the small, unnoticeable work that leads to real progress. They want fast results. They want to wake up one morning and suddenly have their dream body, their perfect career, their ideal life. And when it doesn't happen that way, they give up. They convince themselves that improvement is impossible, that only a lucky few ever succeed. But that's just an excuse. The truth is, anyone can improve, but only if they're willing to do what most people won't: show up every day, do the work, and stop expecting immediate rewards. Another reason most people fail to improve is because they are addicted to comfort. They love the idea of success, but they don't want to experience the discomfort that comes with change. They want to get stronger, but they don't want to feel the pain of lifting weights. They want to get smarter, but they don't want to sit down and read for an hour. They want to be more disciplined, but they don't want to resist temptation. Growth is uncomfortable, and that's exactly why most people avoid it. They stick to what feels easy, what feels familiar, what doesn't challenge them. And because of that, they stay exactly where they are. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you'd start something, only to make an excuse the moment it got difficult? Maybe you said you'd wake up early, but when the alarm rang, you hit snooze. Maybe you said you'd go to the gym, but when it was time to leave, you found a reason to skip it. Maybe you said you'd stop procrastinating, but then you got distracted, and before you knew it, the day was over. This is what separates the people who improve from the people who don't. The ones who improve don't rely on how they feel in the moment. They don't let temporary discomfort stop them. They decide that no matter what, they're going to do what needs to be done. Another major reason why most people fail to improve is because they let failure stop them. The moment they face a setback, they assume it's over. They try something, it doesn't work, and they take that as a sign that they aren't capable. But failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. Every successful person you admire has failed, probably more times than you can imagine. The difference is, they didn't let it stop them. They learned from it. They got back up. They kept moving forward. That's the mindset you need if you want to improve. Instead of seeing failure as a sign to quit, see it as proof that you're in the game, that you're learning, that you're getting closer to where you want to be. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they need to be motivated to take action. They wait until they feel inspired. They wait until they're in the right mood. But motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel energized and ready to go. Other days you won't feel like doing anything. And if you rely on motivation, you'll never be consistent. The people who truly improve don't depend on motivation. They depend on discipline. They know that even on the days when they don't feel like it, they have to show up. They have to do the work. That's the difference between success and failure. Most people also fail to improve because they surround themselves with the wrong influences. They listen to negative people, people who complain, people who make excuses, people who aren't going anywhere in life. And whether they realize it or not, that negativity seeps into their mindset. If you're constantly around people who settle for mediocrity, you'll start to think that's normal. But if you surround yourself with people who push themselves, who strive for better, who refuse to settle, then you'll start to think differently. You'll start to expect more from yourself. You'll start to believe that improvement isn't just possible, it's necessary. If you've been struggling to improve, it's not because you're incapable. It's not because you're unlucky. It's because you've been holding yourself back with excuses, comfort, fear of failure, and the wrong mindset. But here's the good news: you can change. You can decide right now that you're done waiting, done making excuses, done settling. You can take control of your progress, starting today. You don't need to make huge changes overnight. You just need to start small. One step, one action, 1% better every day. That's it. If you commit to that, there's nothing you can't achieve. A year from now, you're either going to be proud of how far you've come, or you're going to be in the exact same place, wondering why nothing changed. The choice is yours. But if you're serious about growth, if you truly want to improve, then stop waiting. Start today. Do the work. And don't stop until you've built the life you want. Chapter 3. The harsh reality. Time is running out. Whether you realize it or not, every single day that passes is a day you will never get back. And that's the harsh reality most people don't want to face. They live as if they have unlimited time, as if they can afford to waste days, weeks, even years doing nothing. But let me tell you something. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. It keeps moving, whether you take action or not. And if you're not careful, you're going to wake up one day and realize that you've spent more time thinking about what you want than actually doing something about it. Most people live in a state of procrastination, telling themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, next year. But do you know what happens? Tomorrow turns into never. They keep delaying, keep making excuses, keep waiting for the right moment, and before they know it, 10 years have passed, and they're still stuck in the same place, wondering where all the time went. That's how life works. You either use your time wisely, or you waste it. There is no in-between. The real reason people don't take action isn't because they don't want to succeed. It's because they don't feel the urgency. They assume they have time. They think they can afford to wait. But let me ask you this. What if you didn't? What if you only had 1 year left to turn your life around? Would you still be wasting time? Would you still be scrolling mindlessly on your phone, watching other people live their dreams while you sit there doing nothing? Or would you finally get serious? Because the truth is, none of us know how much time we really have. And if you don't act now, you're going to regret it later. Think about this for a second. Every single day, you are either moving closer to your goals or further away from them. There is no standing still. If you're not improving, you're declining. If you're not learning, you're falling behind. If you're not taking action, someone else is. And while you're sitting there waiting for motivation to strike, someone else is out there putting in the work, getting ahead, making things happen. That's why some people succeed while others don't. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's the ability to understand that time is the most valuable resource they have, and they refuse to waste it. Most people will never reach their full potential because they never develop the urgency to act. They say they want to be successful, but their actions say otherwise. They waste time on things that don't matter. They make excuses. They avoid discomfort. They live as if they're going to be here forever. But you and I both know that's not how life works. Time doesn't slow down. It doesn't pause when you need a break. It keeps moving. And if you don't start now, you're going to find yourself in the same place next year, wondering why nothing has changed. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming they can make up for lost time later. They think, it's okay, I'll start working harder next year. I'll focus on my goals when I feel ready. But what they don't realize is that time doesn't work that way. You can't get back the years you wasted. You can't rewind life and start over. All you have is right now. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets. If you've been putting things off, if you've been waiting for the right moment, stop. There is no right moment. The only moment you have is now. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start. Start where you are, with what you have, and do what you can. Because doing something, even if it's small, is always better than doing nothing. And don't fall into the trap of thinking that you have to make massive changes overnight. That's another reason why people fail to improve. They look at where they are and where they want to be, and the gap feels so big that they get overwhelmed. So instead of taking small steps, they do nothing. But success doesn't happen all at once. It happens gradually, through daily effort, through small consistent actions that build up over time. That's why the 1% rule is so powerful. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be better than you were yesterday. There is nothing more valuable than time. Money can be replaced. Opportunities can come back around. But time, once it's gone forever. And if you keep wasting it, if you keep letting distractions and excuses control your life, you're going to reach a point where you look back and realize you could have done so much more. That's a painful realization. But the good news is, you still have time to change. You still have time to take action. But only if you start now. Stop telling yourself you'll do it later. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop making excuses. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the decision to act. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who understood that time is running out. And they refused to waste it. They took action, even when they didn't feel ready. They pushed themselves, even when it was hard. They kept going, even when no one was watching. A year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're either going to look back and be proud of what you did, or you're going to wish you had started sooner. The choice is yours. But if you truly want to change your life, If you truly want to become the best version of yourself, then stop waiting. Start today, because the clock is ticking and time is running out. Chapter 4. How to stay ahead while others fall behind. Most people never get ahead because they spend too much time watching others instead of working on themselves. They look at successful people and wonder, how did they do it? But instead of studying their habits and applying them, they just sit there, scrolling, watching, comparing, and feeling sorry for themselves. And while they waste time thinking about success, someone else is out there actually putting in the work. That's why some people keep rising while others stay stuck. It's not luck. It's not talent. It's the ability to take action while everyone else is still thinking about it. The truth is, life is a race, and not in the way most people think. You're not competing with others. You're competing with time. Every day, every hour, every minute you waste is time you will never get back. And the people who understand this don't waste time complaining, making excuses, or waiting for motivation. They just do what needs to be done. That's why they stay ahead while everyone else falls behind. Because they take action when others hesitate. They focus on improving while others focus on distractions. They stay disciplined while others look for shortcuts. Most people don't fail because they aren't smart enough. They fail because they waste too much time. They get distracted by things that don't matter. They keep putting things off. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, next week, next month. But what they don't realize is that every day they wait, someone else is getting ahead. While they sleep in, someone else is up early, putting in the work. While they waste hours scrolling through social media, someone else is learning, growing, improving. While they procrastinate, someone else is taking action. And in a few years they'll look around and wonder why others are succeeding while they're still stuck in the same place. Success is not complicated. It's about doing the simple things every day, without excuses. But most people don't have the patience for that. They want fast results. They want success overnight. And when they don't see immediate progress, they give up. But let me tell you something. The people who win in life are the ones who stay consistent, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching, even when they don't feel like it. That's what separates winners from everyone else. If you want to stay ahead, you have to stop waiting and start moving. You have to stop looking for motivation and start building discipline. You have to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. It's up to you. And every second you waste is a second you'll never get back. The people who succeed are not the ones who had an easy life. They are the ones who refused to waste time. They understood that every day is an opportunity to get better, to improve, to grow, and they took that opportunity while others ignored it. That's why they are ahead. Not because they were born with some special gift, not because they had connections or luck, but because they did the work when others didn't. The difference between the people who succeed and the people who stay stuck is not talent. It's action. It's the ability to stay focused while others get distracted. It's the ability to keep going when others quit. It's the ability to take control of their time instead of letting time control them. And if you don't develop that ability, you will always be behind. You will always be watching others succeed while you stay in the same place. Most people waste time because they don't feel the urgency. They think they have time. They think they can afford to wait. But the truth is, you don't have time. Every second that passes is gone forever. And if you're not using it wisely, you're losing. You're falling behind. And the only way to change that is to take action now. not tomorrow, not next week. Now, if you want to stay ahead, you have to make a decision. A decision to stop wasting time. A decision to stop making excuses. A decision to start now, no matter how small the step. Because every small step forward puts you ahead of those who are still waiting. And the more you move, the further ahead you get. While others are still thinking, you're already doing. While others are waiting for motivation, you're already making progress. That's how you stay ahead. That's how you win. The question is, are you going to take action, or are you going to keep watching while others get ahead? Because time is running out. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Chapter 5. The 1% Secret, the ultra-successful use. Most people think success is about doing something massive, taking huge leaps, or waiting for that one big opportunity. That's why they never get started. They sit around waiting for motivation, looking for shortcuts, hoping that someday success will just land in their lap. But let me tell you something. The people who win in life, the ones who actually make things happen, they don't rely on motivation. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They have a system, a way of improving themselves just 1% every day. And over time, that tiny, consistent effort turns into something unstoppable. The secret to success is so simple, most people ignore it. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about small daily improvements that add up over time. The ultra-successful understand this. They know that the difference between winning and losing is in the small choices they make every single day. The choice to wake up early instead of sleeping in. The choice to read and learn instead of wasting time on distractions. The choice to take action instead of making excuses. These choices, by themselves, might not seem like much, but stack them up over months, years, and they become the difference between living a life of regret and living a life of achievement. Most people fail because they expect results too fast. They go to the gym for a week, don't see a six-pack, and quit. They start reading books, but don't instantly feel smarter, so they stop. They try waking up early for a few days, but when it gets tough, they go back to their old habits. That's why they never succeed. Because they don't have patience. They don't realize that success is a slow build, not an overnight transformation. The people who make it to the top, they aren't necessarily the smartest or the most gifted. They're the ones who commit to getting 1% better every single day, even when they don't feel like it, even when no one is watching, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Think about it like this. If you improve by just 1% every day, that doesn't seem like much. It's barely noticeable. But over time, that 1% starts to compound. You start building momentum. You start seeing small changes. And before you know it, you're miles ahead of the person who kept waiting for the perfect time to start. That's the difference. The person who understands the power of daily improvement will always be ahead of the person who waits for motivation. The ultra-successful know that the little things matter. They don't ignore the details. They don't cut corners. They don't look for shortcuts. Instead, they focus on getting a little bit better every single day. And because of that, they separate themselves from the crowd. While everyone else is looking for some secret formula, they're out there putting in the work, stacking up small wins, building habits that lead to long-term success. That's why they win. That's why they dominate in their field. It's not about making one big move. It's about making small moves every single day that put them ahead of the competition. The problem with most people is they underestimate the power of small improvements. They think if they don't make massive progress overnight, it's not worth it. But here's the reality. Every time you choose discipline over laziness, you win. Every time you read instead of wasting time, you win. Every time you push yourself just a little bit more, you win. And those small wins, they add up. They change you. They make you unstoppable. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get everything right. You just have to get better, little by little, day by day. That's the secret. The ones who understand this never stop improving. They never settle. They never allow themselves to get comfortable, because they know the moment they stop pushing forward, they start falling behind. The difference between success and failure isn't some huge gap. It's the tiny daily choices that stack up over time. And if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. If you're not growing, you're falling behind. There is no standing still. That's why you have to commit to improving yourself, even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems like no one notices. Because in the end, all those small efforts will turn into something massive. The ultra-successful don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They don't trust willpower. They trust habits. And they know that if they just get a little bit better every day, there's no way they can lose. That's the mindset you need. That's the approach that will make you unstoppable. So the question is, are you willing to put in that 1% effort today? Because if you are, success is inevitable. Chapter 6. Eliminate the silent killer of progress. The biggest obstacle to your success is something that doesn't get enough attention. It's silent, it's sneaky, and it's robbing you of the future you deserve. This thing is more dangerous than any distraction, more deadly than procrastination, and more harmful than any external setback. It's called self-doubt. Self-doubt is the silent killer of progress. It creeps in when you're not paying attention, telling you that you're not good enough, that you're too late, that you'll never make it. It convinces you to stop before you even start. It whispers in your ear, making you question your abilities, your worth, your potential. And if you listen to it, if you let it take root, you will never reach the heights you're capable of. Think about it for a second. When you want to make a change, when you want to do something great, where does your mind go? It goes to the negative. It goes to the reasons why it won't work. You start thinking about all the ways you could fail, all the obstacles in your way, all the things you don't know. And the more you think about it, the more you start to believe it. The more you listen to that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough. And that's how self-doubt wins. It stops you from even trying. It holds you back from taking that first step. It keeps you stuck in the same place, year after year. This is the reality for so many people. They never even begin to chase their dreams because they're too busy doubting themselves. They see others succeeding, and instead of being inspired, they feel like it's too late for them. They compare themselves to everyone else and convince themselves that they'll never measure up. And every time they fail, every time they fall short of their goals, it reinforces the belief that they can't do it. The cycle continues, and before they know it, years have passed and they're still in the same place. But here's the truth. Self-doubt isn't reality. It's just a story you're telling yourself. And it's a story that you have the power to rewrite. It's not the facts that matter, it's the meaning you give them. The difference between the person who succeeds and the person who doesn't isn't luck or talent. It's mindset. It's the ability to silence the voice of self-doubt and take action anyway. It's the ability to step into the unknown, even when you're scared, even when you're uncertain. The first step to overcoming self-doubt is realizing that it's all in your head. It's just thoughts. It's not reality. The fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough, they're just stories you've convinced yourself are true. And the only way to break free from them is to take action, even when you feel afraid. The most successful people aren't the ones who never doubt themselves. They're the ones who act despite the doubt. They feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's how they build confidence. Confidence is built through action. It's built through doing the thing you're afraid to do. It's built by proving to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. When you take that first step, when you face your fear head on, you send a powerful message to your brain. I'm in control. I can do this. And the more you do it, the stronger your confidence becomes. The more you prove to yourself that you're capable, the less power self-doubt has over you. But here's the thing. Overcoming self-doubt is not a one-time event. It's a constant battle. It's a battle that you have to fight every single day. Every time you face a new challenge, every time you step into the unknown, self-doubt will try to creep in. It will tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not ready. And it's in those moments that you have to fight back. You have to remind yourself of everything you've already accomplished, of all the things you've already overcome. You have to stop letting self-doubt control your actions. It's a choice, not a fact. And every time you choose to move forward, despite the doubt, you take away its power. You take back control of your life. Every small step you take, every action you take in spite of your fears, builds your belief in yourself. And that belief is what will carry you through when things get tough. Let's be clear, self-doubt will never go away completely. But you don't need it to. What you need is the courage to act anyway. You need the determination to keep moving forward, no matter what. You need the belief that even when things get hard, you are capable of handling them. The people who succeed are not the ones who never doubt themselves. They're the ones who keep going in spite of it. The more you face your doubts and push through them, the stronger you get. You start to realize that you can handle failure. You can handle criticism. You can handle uncertainty. And with each victory over self-doubt, you build the mental toughness needed to achieve anything you set your mind to. So the next time self-doubt tries to hold you back, remember this: it's just a thought. It's not the truth. And you have the power to change it. Take action, keep moving, and prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. When you do, you'll see that the only thing standing in your way is you, and you have the power to remove that obstacle. Your dreams are waiting, but they're not going to come to you while you sit around doubting yourself. You have to take the first step. You have to face the fear and move anyway. And once you do that, you'll find that self-doubt loses its grip on you. It becomes a whisper, a distant voice that no longer controls your life. And in its place, confidence, courage, and unstoppable momentum. That's how you beat self-doubt. And that's how you win. Chapter 7. The simple shift that makes success inevitable. The key to success doesn't lie in doing massive things all at once. The biggest wins in life come from the little consistent changes you make every single day. It's not the grand gestures, not the huge leaps that change everything for you. It's the small shifts, the habits, the actions that you take day after day, no matter how small they seem. People often think that in order to succeed, they need to make huge breakthroughs, that success only happens when everything aligns perfectly and they take giant steps forward. But the reality is different. True success is built on the back of small, deliberate changes. And I want to tell you something that will shift how you think about growth. Success is inevitable when you make just a small shift. I'm talking about a shift that you don't need to feel overwhelmed by. A shift that you can start right now, today, without needing to change your entire life overnight. All it takes is that 1% improvement every single day. It's those small shifts that compound over time. The beauty of making small changes is that they're sustainable. It doesn't take a drastic overhaul to change the course of your life. It doesn't require a huge overhaul of your mindset. It just requires consistency. Think about it. If you commit to improving yourself by 1% every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 365% better than when you started. Let that sink in. Over a year, small changes add up in ways you can't even imagine. It's the law of compounding. One small improvement doesn't seem like much, but you keep doing it. And over time, it multiplies into something extraordinary. What seemed small in the moment turns into massive growth over time. So how do you make that shift? The first thing is to stop looking for instant gratification. We live in a world where everything is about quick fixes, fast results, and shortcuts. But real change doesn't happen overnight. Real transformation comes from doing the work consistently, showing up even when it's hard, and trusting the process. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see big changes right away. You might feel like your efforts aren't adding up, or that you're not moving fast enough. But that's the trap of impatience. Small improvements build momentum, they build confidence, and before you know it, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. The shift is in the mindset. Instead of focusing on everything you need to change or achieve, focus on the next step. Focus on the small actions that, when repeated daily, will lead to the outcome you want. Don't worry about getting everything perfect or fixing everything at once. Progress isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, putting in the work and doing what you can every single day. One of the most powerful things you can do is make the shift from "I need to change everything" to "I just need to take the next step." That's it. You don't have to think about the entire journey. You don't have to think about where you'll be in 6 months or a year. You just need to think about today. What's the next thing you can do to improve yourself? What's the one thing you can do right now that will bring you closer to your goal? When you focus on the next step, it eliminates the overwhelm, it makes things feel more manageable, and it makes progress feel achievable. The beauty of small shifts is that they don't feel like too much work. You're not going from 0 to 100 in a day. You're just moving forward bit by bit. And that's where the magic happens. When you commit to small improvements, you begin to change your behavior, your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your life. You start building momentum. The more momentum you gain, the easier it becomes to keep going. The more you see small improvements, the more motivated you get to keep improving. It's like a snowball effect. What started as a small change grows into something huge. The key here is consistency. You can't let yourself get distracted by what others are doing. You can't compare your progress to theirs. Everyone's journey is different. Focus on your own growth. Focus on what's in front of you. Your 1% improvement might not look like much compared to someone else's giant leap, but it's working for you. And that's all that matters. The person who improves 1% every day is going to outpace the person who sits around waiting for their breakthrough. Breakthroughs don't happen without consistency. You have to show up, even on the days when you don't feel like it. You'll also have to get comfortable with failure. Failure is part of the process. But here's the thing, failure isn't the end. Failure is just feedback. It's information that helps you learn and grow. When you make a mistake, you don't need to beat yourself up over it. Learn from it, adjust, and move on. Don't let failure stop you. Let it fuel your growth. Every mistake is a chance to improve, a chance to get better. And every time you improve, you're getting closer to your goal. It's not always going to be easy. There will be days when you want to quit, when you feel like you're not making enough progress, when you're not seeing the results you expect. But this is where the shift really matters. The moment you start making small improvements is the moment you take control of your life. It's the moment you stop waiting for things to change and start creating the change yourself. It's the moment you start trusting that small actions will lead to big results. Every day you show up, every day you push yourself to make just a little improvement, you're shaping the person you're going to become. And as you do that, you'll look up one day and realize that you've come a lot further than you thought. You'll have become the person who is no longer afraid to take action, the person who trusts in the process, the person who knows that small steps lead to massive results. And the best part is, it didn't take some massive shift to get there. It only took the decision to make small, consistent changes, day after day. You are capable of incredible things. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you need to do it all at once. Forget about the big leap. Focus on the small shifts. Start improving yourself by just 1% every day, and you'll be amazed at the life you create. Small steps, taken consistently, will always take you further than you could ever imagine. Chapter 8. How to trick your brain into loving growth. There is a power that lies within each of us. A power that is waiting to be unlocked. It's not some magical far-off force that only the lucky or special people get to tap into. It's the power of your own mind, your own habits, your own ability to shape your reality. But here's the secret most people don't know. The brain is a tool that can either work for you or against you. It's all about how you train it. And if you can learn how to make your brain fall in love with growth, success becomes inevitable. Imagine waking up every day with a sense of purpose, knowing exactly what you need to do, and feeling excited to do it. Imagine a mind that is constantly moving forward, constantly craving improvement, constantly hungry for the next challenge. That's what happens when you train your brain to love growth. It's not about relying on motivation that comes and goes. It's about creating a mindset that thrives on progress, no matter how small. This is how the most successful people keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles come their way. They've trained their brain to love the process of getting better, and you can do the same. Now here's the key to unlocking this kind of growth-driven mindset. It starts with small actions. We all know that the road to success isn't a straight line, but what most people don't realize is that you don't have to make huge leaps to get there. Small actions taken consistently will build the foundation for success. But it's not just about doing something every day. It's about how you feel while you're doing it. It's about learning to enjoy the process. Because when you love the process, everything changes. It becomes easier to keep going, even when you don't see immediate results. When your brain is trained to embrace growth, you start craving the feeling of improvement. You start looking for ways to challenge yourself, to stretch your limits, to get better. And the more you embrace this mindset, the more unstoppable you become. The truth is, most of us have been conditioned to fear failure, to shy away from challenges, and to avoid anything that feels uncomfortable. But growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you push yourself past your limits. When you embrace discomfort. When you decide to show up, even when it's hard. This is where the power of training your brain comes in. When you learn to view challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles, you'll begin to crave them. You'll seek them out. Your brain will start to associate growth with positive feelings, and before you know it, you'll be looking for ways to stretch yourself every day. It's not about forcing yourself to do things you don't enjoy. It's about finding the joy in the process of becoming better. But how do you train your brain to love growth? It starts with shifting your mindset. You have to stop seeing growth as a chore and start seeing it as an opportunity. Every time you improve, no matter how small, you're moving closer to your goals. Every time you take a step forward, you're becoming the person you want to be. This mindset shift is key to creating lasting change. When you start looking for the lessons in every experience, when you start celebrating small wins, you begin to rewire your brain. And once you start doing this consistently, you won't need to force yourself to take action anymore. It will become second nature. One of the most powerful tools in this process is positive reinforcement. Every time you take a small step forward, reward yourself. Celebrate the win, no matter how small it may seem. This doesn't mean you have to throw a party every time you check something off your to-do list, but you do need to recognize the progress you're making. This will send a signal to your brain that growth is good, that improvement feels good, and that taking action leads to positive outcomes. When you condition your brain this way, you'll find that you're not just improving yourself, you're also building the belief that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Another critical part of this process is focusing on the journey, not just the destination. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of the end goal, the big prize at the finish line, but when you focus too much on the outcome, you risk losing sight of the small steps that will get you there. Instead, focus on the process. Enjoy the daily grind. Find the excitement in learning, in growing, in challenging yourself. The more you enjoy the process, the more you'll find yourself craving growth. The journey will become just as rewarding as the destination. Remember, growth isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. It's about developing habits that feed your growth, shaping your mindset so that you're always looking for opportunities to improve. It's about training your brain to see growth as the most exciting part of the journey. When you begin to do this, your brain will start to look forward to growth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's difficult, because your brain will learn that growth equals success, and success feels good. So how do you start training your brain to love growth? It starts with small, intentional actions. It starts with showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. It starts with setting goals, but then focusing on the process, not just the outcome. It's about finding joy in the small steps, the daily wins, and the lessons learned along the way. It's about rewarding yourself for progress, no matter how small, and allowing your brain to associate growth with positive emotions. And most importantly, it's about consistency, because when you train your brain to love growth, it becomes easier and easier to keep moving forward. It becomes natural. It becomes who you are. And when that happens, nothing can stop you. You become a person who is always improving, always getting better, always moving forward. The future that you've dreamed of is waiting for you because you've trained your mind to make it happen. Chapter 9. The Power of a 30-Day 1% Challenge. You've probably heard that change takes time. That's true. But here's the thing, it doesn't take as long as you think. When it comes to improvement, we tend to overestimate how long it's going to take. We look at the big picture and feel overwhelmed. We think we need to make huge changes all at once. But that's where we go wrong. The secret to lasting change lies in the small things, the tiny daily shifts that compound over time. That's the power of the 1% rule. Small improvements every single day lead to massive transformations in your life. But most importantly, this doesn't just happen by accident. It takes consistency, intentionality, and the willingness to commit to the process. Let me tell you, if you commit to improving yourself by just 1% every day, you'll be shocked at the progress you can make. In fact, If you stick to this for a month, a year, or even longer, you'll be a completely different person. Why? Because those small improvements compound. When you improve by just 1% a day, you're not just making progress in one area, you're setting the stage for transformation in every area of your life. Small improvements add up, and before you know it, you'll be standing on top of a mountain of progress, looking back at how far you've come. The most powerful part of this concept is that it's achievable for anyone. You don't have to be a genius. You don't need a high level of talent. You don't need to make huge sweeping changes to your lifestyle overnight. All you need is consistency. All you need is the willingness to show up and make that 1% improvement every day. And the best part, you don't need to be perfect. You don't have to get it right every time. The power lies in doing it consistently. Progress is about momentum, and once you get that ball rolling, it becomes easier and easier. The 1% rule is about taking tiny, manageable steps forward every day. That's how you build real, lasting change. So how does this work in practice? It's simple. Let's say your goal is to improve your fitness. You don't need to go from zero to training like an Olympic athlete overnight. Instead, focus on improving just 1% every day. Maybe that means adding 5 extra minutes to your workout today, or making one healthier food choice. Maybe it's pushing yourself to run a little farther, or lifting a little more weight. You're not trying to revolutionize your entire routine in one go. You're simply making small adjustments that over time will lead to big results. It doesn't matter how small the change is. What matters is that you're taking action. And that's the power of the 1% rule. It's the same for any area of life. Maybe your goal is to get better at time management. Instead of overhauling your entire schedule all at once, start by making small changes. Maybe you set a timer for 15 minutes to focus on one task, and tomorrow you add another 15 minutes. Or perhaps you commit to cutting down on distractions, focusing for longer periods of time, and slowly improving your efficiency. You don't need to make a perfect plan and stick to it rigidly. The key is to make consistent small changes that you can keep up with. Every time you improve by just 1%, you're setting the foundation for even more progress. One of the reasons people fail to make lasting changes is that they expect immediate results. They expect dramatic transformations, and when they don't see instant success, they get discouraged and quit. But here's the truth: lasting change doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, over time, in small increments. The key is to trust the process. When you focus on improving just 1% a day, the progress isn't always immediately visible. But over time, those tiny improvements compound into something much bigger than you could have ever imagined. Success isn't about making huge leaps. It's about making consistent, incremental improvements every single day. Now you might be thinking, but I want to see results faster. I get it. We live in a world where we're used to getting what we want quickly. But when it comes to real, lasting change, patience is key. The beauty of the 1% rule is that it's sustainable. It doesn't require you to make huge sacrifices or drastic changes to your life. It's about building momentum and stacking small wins. Those wins add up, and before you know it, you'll be on the other side of the transformation, looking back and realizing just how much you've grown. When you take this approach, you start to see progress in ways you might have missed before. You begin to notice that the small changes you've made are adding up. Your fitness levels improve. Your productivity increases. Your mindset becomes more positive. But here's the thing: the real transformation isn't just in the results, it's in who you become during the process. Every time you improve by 1%, you become someone who is capable of making change happen. You become someone who shows up, even when it's hard. You become someone who doesn't give up after one setback. You become someone who trusts the process and understands that lasting success comes from consistency, not from quick fixes. And the best part, this doesn't just apply to your personal life, it applies to your professional life, your relationships, your finances, your health, and every other area of your life that you want to improve. Whether it's learning a new skill, becoming a better communicator, or taking control of your finances, the 1% rule works. It's about showing up every day, taking small actions, and trusting that the process will pay off in the long run. The compound effect is real, and over time, you'll look back at your journey and realize that those small, consistent improvements were the key to your success. The 1% rule is the difference between being stuck and making real progress. It's the difference between wishing for change and actually making it happen. If you commit to improving just 1% every day, you'll be amazed at how far you can go. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen. And when it does, you'll realize that the real power isn't in making huge changes all at once. It's in the small, steady improvements that you make every single day. Because when you improve by just 1% every day, you're not just making progress, you're building the life you've always wanted, one small step at a time. Chapter 10. Why talent is overrated, and what truly matters. Talent is often glorified. It's the first thing people talk about when they discuss someone's success, how talented they are, how gifted they are, or how naturally they seem to excel at something. It's an easy trap to fall into, believing that talent is the ultimate key to success. But here's the harsh truth that most people ignore. Talent isn't the magic ingredient that makes someone successful. What truly matters, the thing that separates those who succeed from those who struggle, is not talent. It's effort, consistency, and the willingness to do the work day in and day out, regardless of your natural abilities. You see, we often look at others who have achieved great things and think, I could never do that. I don't have the talent. But that's a lie we tell ourselves to justify staying where we are. The truth is, talent can give someone a head start, but it's effort and persistence that lead to success. The people who rise to the top aren't always the ones who started with the most natural gifts. They're the ones who showed up, put in the time, and worked harder than everyone else. The ones who outlasted the setbacks, who kept going even when it was tough. The ones who made small improvements every day, who were disciplined and committed to their growth. Talent doesn't do that for you. Talent can't replace the grit, the sweat, the discipline it takes to actually make things happen. Think about some of the most successful people you know, whether it's in business, sports, or any other field. Sure, many of them are talented, but that's not the full story. The ones who truly make it are the ones who put in the work long after the excitement wears off, the ones who keep improving themselves 1% each day. Talent alone won't get you anywhere if you don't have the drive to keep working at it. The people who dominate their fields are the ones who have mastered consistency. They've mastered showing up even when they don't feel like it, even when the results aren't immediate, and even when things seem impossible. And this is why talent on its own is overrated. Take Michael Jordan, for example. Many consider him the greatest basketball player of all time, and yes, he was incredibly talented. But what set him apart wasn't just his raw ability, it was his work ethic. He was cut from his high school basketball team. Yet, instead of giving up, he worked harder. He practiced for hours. He made himself better every single day. That's what took him to the top, not just his talent, but his relentless pursuit of improvement, his commitment to growth, and his refusal to quit. And this is the kind of mentality that can take anyone from average to extraordinary. It's about doing the work, showing up every day, and believing that improvement is always possible, no matter where you start. And it's not just in sports or business. Think about the musicians, the writers, the artists, the entrepreneurs. The ones who truly excel aren't necessarily the ones with the most talent. They're the ones who commit themselves to constant growth, who push themselves every single day to be a little bit better than they were yesterday. They focus on the process, not just the results. They understand that success is built on small improvements, on consistency, and on the ability to keep going when the initial excitement fades away. That's what talent can't give you: the perseverance to keep going, the willingness to work on the basics, and the discipline to stick with it even when progress feels slow. It's easy to look at someone who's achieved greatness and think they've had it easier, that their talent made it all possible. But the reality is, every successful person has faced obstacles, failures, and moments of doubt. The difference is, they didn't let those moments define them. They didn't let their lack of natural talent hold them back. Instead, they focused on what they could control: their effort, their mindset, and their willingness to improve every day. They chose to focus on what they could do, rather than on what they couldn't. And that's the real key to success. This is where you have the advantage. You may not have the talent you wish you had, but you do have control over your effort. You can choose to show up every day. You can decide to work hard, to get 1% better each day, to build the habits that will lead to success. You don't need to wait for a sudden burst of talent or inspiration. You don't need to be born with a gift in a specific area to make real progress. All you need is the willingness to work, the discipline to keep going, and the understanding that improvement comes through effort, not talent. So, stop waiting for some magical moment when you'll suddenly be good enough or talented enough to achieve your dreams. That moment will never come. Instead, decide right now that you'll put in the work. Decide that you'll improve 1% each day. Decide that you'll build the habits that will lead to success, regardless of how talented you feel or how difficult the road seems. The people who succeed aren't the ones with the most talent. They're the ones who decide to keep going when everyone else quits. The ones who focus on the small improvements that add up to big results. And here's the thing: when you start putting in the work, when you start improving yourself every day, something amazing happens. You build confidence. You start to believe in your ability to achieve your goals, not because of your talent, but because of your effort. You realize that you don't need to be born with a gift to succeed. You just need to be willing to show up, to do the work, and to improve, no matter how small the progress seems. You become someone who is unstoppable, not because of talent, but because of your commitment to improvement and growth. So forget about talent. Talent is overrated. It's your effort, your consistency, and your commitment to getting better every day that will get you where you want to go. The real key to success isn't about being born with something special. It's about deciding to put in the work, to stay disciplined, and to keep improving, 1% at a time. And when you do that, you'll find that success is not only achievable, it's inevitable. Chapter 11. How to build self-discipline without burning out. It's the glue that holds everything together. Without it, all the talent and potential in the world won't help you achieve your goals. But here's the truth: self-discipline is a skill. It's not something you're born with. It's something you develop over time, through consistent effort and dedication. And while it might feel like an impossible task, I want you to know that self-discipline is within your reach. It's not a distant dream. It's a muscle that you can strengthen every single day, And once you build it, it will carry you further than you could have ever imagined. Imagine for a moment that every time you set a goal, you actually follow through with it. You don't get distracted. You don't procrastinate. You don't put things off until tomorrow. You take action. That's what self-discipline allows you to do. It keeps you focused, it keeps you on track, and it helps you make progress every single day. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing up consistently, doing the work, and sticking to your commitments, even when it's hard. Self-discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do something you hate. It's about creating habits that align with your long-term vision. When you start building self-discipline, you begin to change the way you think about success. You realize that it's not about grand gestures or monumental efforts. It's about doing the small things every day that add up over time. The more disciplined you become, the easier it is to take action, and the more momentum you build. It's a snowball effect. Small actions lead to bigger results, and before you know it, you've created a life of discipline, focus, and achievement. But here's the thing, self-discipline doesn't come naturally to everyone. It's easy to get caught up in distractions. It's easy to put things off. It's easy to make excuses. But if you want to create the life you truly desire, if you want to reach your full potential, then you have to take responsibility for your actions. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start doing the work now. Self-discipline is about making a decision to take control of your life and your habits, and then sticking to that decision, no matter what. Now, I know it's not always easy. It's not always fun. There will be days when you don't feel like working. There will be days when you want to give up. But that's where true self-discipline comes in. It's in those moments when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you feel like throwing in the towel. It's in those moments that your commitment to discipline will determine whether or not you succeed. It's not about how you feel in the moment. It's about how committed you are to your long-term vision. And that's what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. The successful ones are the ones who keep going, even when it's hard. They don't let their feelings control their actions. They stick to their plan, they stay disciplined, and they keep moving forward. So how do you start building self-discipline? It begins with small, intentional actions. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You don't have to suddenly become perfect at everything. Start by setting clear, achievable goals and commit to them. Break them down into manageable steps. Instead of focusing on the big picture, focus on the small actions that will lead to your success. These small actions, repeated every day, will become habits. And once they become habits, they'll require less effort. It won't feel like such a struggle to get things done, because it will become part of who you are. Another important aspect of self-discipline is learning how to resist temptation. There will always be distractions. There will always be things that pull you away from your goals. But the key to success is learning how to say no. Learning how to put off instant gratification for long-term gain. It's about saying no to the things that don't serve your goals and saying yes to the things that do. That's the power of self-discipline. It allows you to stay focused on what truly matters and let go of the rest. And you'll find that the more you practice self-discipline, the easier it becomes. It's like building a muscle. In the beginning it's tough. You might feel weak. You might feel like you're not getting anywhere. But over time, as you continue to work at it, you'll notice that it gets easier. You'll have more energy, more focus, and more drive to keep going. The key is to never give up. When you fall off track, don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track and keep moving forward. It's not about being perfect, it's about progress. One of the best ways to build self-discipline is by setting a routine. A routine removes the decision-making process. When you have a clear plan for your day, You don't have to think about what you're going to do next. You simply follow your routine. This eliminates procrastination and helps you stay on track. When you wake up each day, knowing exactly what you need to do, and when you need to do it, you set yourself up for success. The more you stick to your routine, the more disciplined you become. But remember, self-discipline is not about punishing yourself or being overly rigid. It's about creating structure in your life that supports your goals. It's about being kind to yourself while still holding yourself accountable. It's about finding a balance between pushing yourself to do the work and allowing yourself to rest when needed. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about making progress, step by step, day by day. Now I want to be clear about one thing. Self-discipline isn't just about achieving external success. It's about becoming the person you're meant to be. It's about growing, evolving, and stepping into your highest potential. It's about having the discipline to keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. It's about staying true to your vision and your purpose, no matter what challenges you face. And when you build self-discipline, you not only change your life, you change who you are as a person. So take responsibility for your actions. Make the decision to start building self-discipline today. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. And every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you choose action over procrastination, you'll be one step closer to the life you want to create. You've got this. Keep going, keep building, and keep improving, because the best version of yourself is waiting for you on the other side. Chapter 12. Destroy your limiting beliefs. One step at a time. Life is all about momentum. The energy you put into your day, your actions, and your mindset is like the fuel that propels you forward. Without momentum, it's easy to feel stuck, to feel like you're not getting anywhere, no matter how hard you try. But the moment you start building momentum, everything changes. Suddenly, things begin to flow, progress happens naturally, and you start to see results from the work you're putting in. That momentum becomes a powerful force in your life, pushing you toward your goals, propelling you through obstacles, and helping you maintain focus on what truly matters. But how do you build momentum in your life, especially when everything feels chaotic, when things aren't going the way you want, or when you're struggling to get started? The answer lies in consistency. It's about taking small, focused steps every day, even when you don't feel like it. The secret to momentum is the ability to keep going, to take one step after another, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. It's not about achieving massive results in one fell swoop. It's about those little wins, the small actions, the decisions you make every single day that create a snowball effect of positive change in your life. Here's the thing, when you're trying to build momentum, it's not going to feel easy at first. It's like starting a car that hasn't been driven in a while. It takes a little while to warm up, to get the engine running smoothly. But once it's going, once you've gained some speed, it becomes easier and easier to maintain that momentum. The key is consistency. It's about showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, and committing to the actions that will get you closer to your goal. At the start, the work might feel tough. There might be days when you feel like quitting, when you feel like you're not seeing any results, and wonder if it's even worth it. But those are the moments when you need to dig deep. That's where the magic happens. The difference between someone who achieves success and someone who doesn't is the willingness to keep going, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Momentum isn't built in the easy moments, it's built in the challenging ones. It's built when you push through the resistance, when you keep going even when you don't see immediate results. The trick is to trust the process. You might not see the results right away, But every time you take action, every time you show up, you're laying the groundwork for what's to come. Imagine if you quit on the days when things were tough, when progress was slow, or when it didn't feel like you were making any headway. You'd miss out on the momentum that comes from those small, consistent actions. Every time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you are contributing to the momentum that will eventually push you toward your goals. One of the most powerful things about momentum is that it's contagious. Once you start moving forward, you'll start to feel more motivated, more driven, and more energized to keep going. The momentum you build starts to carry you, and before you know it, you're on a roll. You begin to see new opportunities, new paths, and new possibilities that weren't visible before. Momentum has a way of opening doors and showing you just how far you can go if you keep moving forward. But let me be clear, momentum doesn't happen overnight. It's not something that you can just snap your fingers and create. It's a slow build. It's about showing up, being disciplined, and trusting that the results will come. You might not see massive progress on day one, week one, or even month one. But over time, that momentum will start to build, and you'll begin to see the fruits of your labor. The key is to never stop, to never give up, and to stay consistent no matter what. Another thing to remember is that momentum isn't just about physical action. It's also about mental and emotional momentum. It's about keeping your mindset in the right place, focusing on the positive, and refusing to let negative thoughts or self-doubt derail your progress. Your mind plays a huge role in building momentum. When you have a positive, focused mindset, it becomes much easier to stay disciplined, to keep showing up, and to take action, even when things are tough. That's why it's so important to protect your energy and your mindset. The thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the emotions you feel all play a part in creating the momentum that will drive you forward. If you're constantly beating yourself up, second-guessing your decisions, or thinking negative thoughts, it's going to be much harder to build momentum. But if you can shift your mindset, stay positive, and remind yourself of your goals, your purpose, and your vision, then you'll be able to keep moving forward with confidence and determination. Sometimes it can be helpful to break things down into smaller, more manageable steps. When you're building momentum, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the big picture. You might look at your goal and think, how am I ever going to achieve that? But the truth is, you don't have to focus on the entire mountain right away. Focus on one step at a time. Break your goals down into smaller, actionable tasks and tackle them one by one. Each small win you achieve will contribute to your momentum, and before you know it, you'll have made significant progress toward your larger goal. And remember, momentum is about progress, not perfection. It's about moving forward, learning from mistakes, and growing along the way. It's not about being flawless or getting everything right. It's about taking action, being consistent, and trusting that every step you take is getting you closer to where you want to go. Don't wait for the perfect moment or for everything to line up perfectly before you start. Start now and let the momentum build from there. In the end, momentum is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what turns aspirations into achievements and transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. The more momentum you build, the more unstoppable you become. You'll find that things start to flow, that opportunities start to show up, and that you're moving faster and more efficiently than ever before. The key is to keep going, never stop, because when you've got momentum on your side, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Chapter 13. How to overcome laziness and take action. Success isn't a random event, it's a deliberate creation. Everything you achieve in life is the result of a process, and that process begins with the smallest decisions. It's not always the big moves or the grand gestures that bring success. It's those tiny, seemingly insignificant actions that compound over time to create something extraordinary. The truth is, success is built on consistency, on showing up every single day and making decisions that align with your long-term vision. And the most powerful part about this is that anyone can do it. Success is not reserved for a select few, it's available to anyone willing to put in the work. But let's talk about one of the biggest barriers to success: self-doubt. We all face it. It creeps in when you're about to take a big step forward or try something new. It tells you you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes. But the truth is, self-doubt is the enemy of progress. It keeps you stuck in the same place, preventing you from moving forward. You see, self-doubt doesn't just stop you from taking action. It clouds your vision, making you second-guess your abilities and your worth. It's an illusion, a trick of the mind that makes you believe you're not capable of greatness. But here's the thing: every successful person, at some point, has had to face that same voice. The key is to recognize it for what it is and push through it. The more you let self-doubt control your decisions, the more it keeps you from achieving your potential. When you make a commitment to yourself, when you decide that you're going to pursue something with everything you've got, you can't let doubt dictate your actions. You have to remind yourself that you're capable, that you've got the strength, the drive, and the ability to make things happen. And most importantly, you have to be willing to embrace discomfort. Success is not comfortable. It's messy, it's challenging, and it's full of setbacks. But every setback is an opportunity to grow. Every challenge is a chance to learn and become better. The discomfort you feel when you step out of your comfort zone is the very thing that will propel you forward. One of the most powerful tools at your disposal is your mindset. How you think about yourself, about your challenges, and about your goals shapes everything. If you believe that you're destined for success, you'll find ways to make it happen. If you believe that failure is a part of the journey and not the end of it, then you'll keep moving forward, no matter how many times you fall down. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world, and it's up to you to decide what kind of lens you're using. The most successful people are the ones who view every obstacle as an opportunity to grow. They don't see failure as a permanent state. They see it as a stepping stone on the path to success. And that's a mindset you can cultivate, one that will help you navigate the challenges of life with confidence and resilience. It's also important to recognize that success doesn't happen overnight. It's a long-term game. When you look at the most successful people in the world, it can be easy to think that they've somehow been blessed with special talent or luck. But that's rarely the case. What sets them apart is their persistence, their ability to keep going when the road gets tough, and their commitment to improvement, no matter how small the steps may seem. Success is a result of thousands of small, consistent actions. Each day, you make choices that either bring you closer to your goals or push you further away. The key is to make more of those choices count, to be intentional about what you do and how you spend your time. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of instant results, but real success doesn't work that way. It's about the long game, about making incremental progress day after day, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. It's like planting a seed. At first you don't see anything happening. You water it, you nurture it, and you wait. But over time, that seed begins to grow, and eventually, you see the fruits of your labor. Success works the same way. The small decisions you make today will pay off in the future, but you have to trust the process. A big part of success is knowing that you don't have to do it alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift you, who challenge you, and who believe in your potential. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping who you become. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, and people who don't support your dreams, it becomes much harder to achieve success. But when you surround yourself with positive influences, with people who encourage you and push you to be better, your chances of success increase dramatically. Find those people who believe in you, who inspire you, and who help you stay on track when the going gets tough. Another key to success is the ability to adapt. Life is unpredictable. The path you thought you'd be on might change, and unexpected challenges will arise. But instead of seeing these changes as setbacks, see them as opportunities to adapt, grow, and adjust your strategy. Success is not about having a rigid plan and sticking to it no matter what. It's about being flexible, learning from your experiences, and adjusting your course as needed. The most successful people are those who can pivot when necessary, who can make the best of a difficult situation, and who never give up on their goals, even when things don't go according to plan. You have the power to create the life you want. It starts with making a decision to believe in yourself, to take action every day, and to trust the process. You won't get everything right, but that's okay. Mistakes are part of the journey. What matters is that you keep moving forward, that you stay committed to your vision, and that you never stop learning. The road to success is not easy, but it's worth every bit of effort you put in. So start now. Take that first step and don't look back. Because the only thing standing between you and your success is the decision to take action. Every small choice you make today is shaping the future you'll create. And when you look back at all you've achieved, you'll see that the process, the work, and the persistence were what got you there. Success is within your reach. It's waiting for you to take that first step and keep going, no matter what. Chapter 14. The 1% Rule to Skyrocket Your Confidence. The moment you decide to chase your dreams, you're opening the door to an entire new world, one that's filled with possibilities, challenges, and growth. And let me tell you, it's not going to be a smooth ride. In fact, the road ahead might be rougher than you expect. But here's the secret that most people overlook. The bumps, the obstacles, the struggles, they are not barriers. They are the very things that will shape you into the person you're meant to be. Every challenge you face, every failure, every setback is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's proof that you are doing something right. You are moving, you are growing, and you are expanding. There's something incredibly powerful about facing adversity. It forces you to dig deeper into yourself, to find parts of your strength that you never even knew existed. It's in those moments of discomfort, of feeling like you might not make it, that your true character is forged. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by avoiding the tough times. They got there by pushing through them, by using those moments as fuel to keep going. The path to success is never a straight line, and if you think it's supposed to be, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But if you understand that the challenges are part of the process, you'll approach them with a different mindset. You won't fear them, you'll embrace them as the opportunity for growth that they are. The truth is, success doesn't happen in the absence of obstacles, it happens in spite of them. And every time you overcome a challenge, you become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling the next one. The more you push yourself, the more you realize that you're capable of far more than you ever imagined. It's not about avoiding the pain, it's about learning how to move through it, to keep your eyes on the prize, and to never lose sight of your vision. The world will try to tell you that you're not enough, that you don't have the right skills, the right resources, or the right connections. But what if I told you that the only thing you really need to succeed is the belief that you can? What if I told you that your mindset, your ability to push through doubt, fear and uncertainty, is the one thing that will determine whether or not you make it? That's the truth. Success starts in your mind. When you believe in yourself, when you trust that you have what it takes, the world starts to align itself with your vision. Doors open, opportunities present themselves, and you begin to see the paths that were always there but you never noticed before. However, it's not just about belief, it's about action. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. You can have all the belief in the world, but without action, nothing will happen. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of an idea, to daydream about success, and to envision the life you want. But if you don't take deliberate, consistent steps toward that vision, it will remain just that, a dream. The difference between people who achieve their goals and those who don't isn't talent, it's action. It's the willingness to do what others won't do, to put in the work, and to keep going even when things get tough. It's the consistency, the discipline, and the relentless pursuit of growth that leads to success. So you have to ask yourself, are you willing to show up every single day, no matter how you feel, no matter what obstacles come your way, and keep pushing toward your goal? Because that's what it takes. It's about building the habits that support your success, and sticking with them even when motivation fades. Motivation is a fleeting feeling. It's not always going to be there when you need it. But discipline will carry you through when motivation is nowhere to be found. If you commit to the process, if you commit to showing up every day and doing the work, the results will follow. It may take time, but trust me, it will happen. And there's something magical that happens when you make a habit of pushing through the tough times. The more you persevere, the more you realize that you're not the person you were when you started. You become more resilient, more focused, and more determined. You become someone who can't be stopped. And that's when you start to see the real results. When you stop listening to the doubts and fears and just take action, that's when you unlock your true potential. It's a process, yes, but every single step you take gets you closer to the person you're meant to be. It's important to recognize that success is not just about the destination, it's about the person you become along the way. Every challenge, every success, every failure, and every lesson shapes you into someone stronger, smarter, and more capable. If you focus only on the end goal, you miss the point of the journey. The journey is where the growth happens. It's where you learn the most about yourself, where you develop the habits and the mindset that will carry you to greater heights. So don't rush the process, enjoy the ride, embrace the challenges, because they're the stepping stones that will take you where you want to go. There will be times when you'll feel like quitting. You'll face obstacles that seem insurmountable. You'll feel like you've given everything you've got, and you're still not getting where you want to be. But here's the thing, you're closer than you think. Every time you feel like giving up is just the moment before your breakthrough. The people who succeed are the ones who can endure the most pain, who can persist when things get tough, and who keep going even when they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They understand that success is about persistence, not perfection. So keep moving forward, even when it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. Keep putting in the work, even when the results aren't immediate. Keep believing in yourself, even when others doubt you. Because eventually, the world will catch up to your efforts. The results will show. The doors will open, and when you look back, you'll see that every single step you took was worth it. The journey, with all its struggles, has been the key to unlocking your success. Chapter 15. The psychological hack to stay motivated forever. Success isn't something that just falls into your lap. It's not something that happens because you're lucky or because you have the perfect circumstances. No, success is something you create. It's something you build every day, step by step. Every decision, every small action you take leads you closer to your goals. It doesn't matter where you start or how far behind you feel. What matters is that you start, and once you begin, you keep going, no matter what. Because when you look back at the progress you've made, you'll see that it wasn't the big moments that defined your success. It was the small moments, the day in and day out choices, the quiet efforts you made when no one was watching. That's what really makes you unstoppable. What you do today determines your tomorrow. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that everything has to be perfect before you begin. You might wait for the right time, the right moment, or for everything to align just the way you want it. But here's the truth, that perfect time will never come. Life will never be perfectly convenient. The truth is, success doesn't care about your circumstances. It doesn't care if you feel ready or if you think you're good enough. It only cares about whether you're willing to show up and do the work, whether you're ready to commit, and whether you can keep moving even when it's hard. Every day you put off your dreams is a day lost, a day you can never get back. The longer you wait, the harder it gets. The more you delay, the more difficult it will feel to get started. So don't wait. Start now, even if it's just one small step. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. The biggest hurdle in the pursuit of your dreams is often yourself. You're your own biggest critic, your own worst enemy. It's easy to let fear, doubt and insecurity hold you back. But here's the thing, those feelings are normal. Everyone experiences them. The key is not letting them control you. It's about facing those feelings head on and continuing to take action anyway. The only way to overcome fear is to act in spite of it. The only way to silence doubt is to keep proving it wrong with your actions. And the only way to conquer insecurity is to stop looking for validation outside yourself. When you start doing the work, when you keep showing up every day, you'll slowly start to build the confidence that comes from knowing you're capable. But that confidence doesn't come from just thinking you can do it. It comes from doing the work. It comes from putting in the effort, even when it feels impossible. And that's what will set you apart from the rest. There's no magic formula for success. There's no secret shortcut that will take you from where you are to where you want to be in an instant. But there is one thing that guarantees results, and that's consistency. Success isn't about giant leaps or dramatic overnight transformations. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and being willing to push through the tough times. It's about making small improvements, day after day, until they compound into something much bigger than you ever imagined. That's how success works. It's about those little habits, those tiny actions that build momentum. When you stack enough of those small actions together, they lead to big results. One of the most powerful things you can do is to take responsibility for your life. No one else is going to do it for you. No one is going to hand you success on a silver platter. It's up to you. And the sooner you take full responsibility for your own future, the sooner you stop making excuses, the sooner you stop blaming others or your circumstances, the faster you'll start making real progress. Your success is in your hands. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. You can control how much effort you put into everything you do. You can control whether you keep going when it gets tough, or whether you give up. And that's where the magic happens. It's in your response to the challenges, the way you handle setbacks, how you move forward, and how you show up each day determines the quality of your life. It's also important to recognize that the road to success isn't linear. It's not a straight path. You'll have moments of progress, followed by moments of doubt, then times when you feel like you're back to square one. But every time you push through, every time you keep going when it's tough, you're building something far more valuable than just a goal. You're building character. You're building resilience. You're building the strength and the mindset that will carry you through anything life throws at you. And that strength will make you unstoppable. The people who succeed are not the ones who never face difficulties. They are the ones who keep going, who keep learning, and who keep growing despite them. So understand that the setbacks are part of the process. They don't mean you're failing, they mean you're learning. They mean you're evolving into the person who can handle even greater challenges down the road. One of the most common mistakes people make is waiting for motivation to strike. They wait for that spark of inspiration, that burst of energy that will propel them into action. But the truth is, motivation isn't reliable, it's fleeting. It comes and goes, and if you wait for it to show up every time you need it, you'll never get anything done. The key is to build discipline. Discipline is the foundation of success. It's the ability to keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about committing to your goals, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Motivation will come and go, but discipline will carry you through. And over time, that discipline will turn into a habit. And when the habit becomes automatic, that's when the magic happens. It's no longer about trying to find the motivation, it's about doing the work, because it's just who you've become. Success becomes inevitable when you make the work a part of who you are. Success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. The person you are now, the mindset you have, the work ethic you've developed, these are the things that will carry you forward. And the best part is that you're not the same person you were when you started. You're stronger, more resilient, and more capable. The journey will change you. It will shape you into someone who can handle anything life throws at them. And that's why the journey itself is so valuable. The success you achieve at the end is just a reflection of the person you've become along the way. So keep moving forward, keep doing the work, keep showing up, even when it's hard, because every step you take brings you closer to the person you're meant to be. And remember, it's not about the destination, it's about the person you become on the way there. That's where the real success lies. Chapter 16. The hidden truth about overnight success. Life isn't about waiting for the perfect conditions to start. It's about realizing that the conditions will never be perfect and choosing to take action anyway. The truth is, most people wait for a perfect moment that never comes. They wait for the stars to align, for everything to fall into place. But the most successful people aren't the ones who wait for that perfect moment. They're the ones who create it by taking action, even when they don't feel ready. Success doesn't happen because everything is ideal. It happens because you choose to move forward, regardless of the circumstances. You see, the most important thing is not having everything figured out before you begin. What matters most is that you start, that you take the first step, and that you trust that the rest will follow. It's about making progress, even if it's small, and trusting that every step will lead you closer to the life you want to create. We often get caught up in the idea that we need to know everything, that we need to be fully prepared before we take action. But the reality is, you don't need to know everything. You just need to know what the next step is, and trust that you'll figure the rest out as you go. It's in the doing, the action, that clarity comes. The more you move forward, the clearer your path becomes. Every time you take action, you eliminate doubt and gain momentum. When you sit still and wait, you only make things harder for yourself. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to take that first step. But when you start now, when you commit to moving forward, even just a little bit, the momentum you build will carry you through. You'll see that the more you act, the more confident you'll become, and that confidence will propel you even further. Don't wait for motivation to strike or for the perfect moment. Act now, and the motivation will follow. In the pursuit of success, there will always be moments of doubt. There will always be times when you question yourself, your abilities, and your choices. And that's normal. Doubt is part of the process. But here's what you need to understand. Doubt doesn't have to stop you. It doesn't have to be the end of your journey. In fact, it's often a sign that you're on the right track. The more you push yourself, the more you challenge your limits, the more doubt will creep in. But instead of letting it hold you back, use it as fuel. Use that doubt as a reminder that you're stepping outside your comfort zone, that you're pushing past your old limitations. The fact that you're questioning yourself means you're growing, and growth is never easy. It's uncomfortable, but it's in that discomfort that true progress happens. The most successful people didn't get to where they are by playing it safe. They got there by taking risks, by facing their fears head-on, and by embracing uncertainty. They understood that growth doesn't happen without discomfort. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions, they created them, and they didn't let doubt stop them. Instead, they used it to fuel their fire. The key is to keep going, even when you feel uncertain. Trust that the doubts will fade, and that each step you take will bring you closer to where you want to be. It's about believing in yourself, even when things don't look perfect. When you keep pushing forward, even in the face of doubt, you develop resilience. And resilience is what separates the winners from the losers. The winners keep going. They don't stop when things get hard. They keep moving, no matter what. Success isn't just about talent or ability. It's about grit. It's about persistence. It's about having the courage to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. There will be times when you feel like throwing in the towel. There will be times when you wonder if it's all worth it. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. The ones who succeed keep going. They don't quit when it gets hard. They don't quit when they feel exhausted. They keep pushing, even when it feels like they're running on empty, because they know that success is built on the foundation of effort, not talent. Talent alone won't get you there. It's the ability to keep going when you don't feel like it that makes the difference. If you want to achieve something big, you have to be willing to do things others aren't. Most people will quit when things get tough. Most people will back down when the road gets rough. But you're not like most people. You've got something inside you that refuses to give up, something that pushes you to keep going, no matter what. It's that fire inside you that will take you further than you ever imagined. And the more you feed that fire with action, with persistence, the brighter it will burn. The key is to keep going. When you're tired, keep going. When you're frustrated, keep going. When you're doubting yourself, keep going. The only way to fail is to stop. And as long as you keep going, you can't fail. It's easy to look at successful people and think that they've had it easy, that they've had everything handed to them. But the truth is, success is built on a foundation of failure. Every successful person has failed at something along the way. They've experienced setbacks, disappointments, and obstacles. But what they didn't do was quit. They didn't let failure define them. Instead, they used failure as a lesson. They used it to grow, to learn, and to improve. Failure is not the end. It's just a stepping stone on the path to success. So when you fail, don't get discouraged. Learn from it, pick yourself up, and keep going. Because each failure is just a lesson, and each lesson gets you one step closer to where you want to be. The secret to success isn't just in what you do, it's in who you become along the way. It's about the mindset you develop, the habits you build, and the way you show up every single day. The more you focus on becoming the person who can achieve your goals, the closer you'll get to them. And the more you focus on doing the work, on taking action, the more you'll grow into the person who deserves that success. So don't just focus on the destination. Focus on the journey. Focus on becoming the kind of person who can handle everything that success will bring. And when you do that, the success will follow. It's not about what you get at the end, it's about who you become along the way. Chapter 17: How to make improvement a daily habit without thinking about it. The path to greatness is never a straight line. It's filled with twists and turns, ups and downs, and moments when it feels like everything is against you. But here's the truth you need to understand. The journey to success isn't meant to be easy. It's not supposed to be something that you can just breeze through. It's meant to challenge you, to test you, to force you to grow in ways that you never thought possible. And the best part is, every time you overcome an obstacle, every time you push past your limits, you become stronger, you become more resilient. You become the kind of person who can handle anything that life throws your way. It's so easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. You put in the work, you try your best, and still things don't seem to fall into place. But that's the nature of success. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and it's filled with setbacks. If you think that success comes without struggle, then you've been misled. Every successful person has faced challenges, they've hit roadblocks, and they've wanted to give up. But they didn't. They pushed through. They embraced the hard times as part of the process, knowing that it's in those difficult moments that they would find the strength they needed to succeed. The truth is, the greatest victories come from overcoming the hardest battles. If it were easy, everyone would be successful. But it's not easy, and that's what makes it so rewarding. Every time you face adversity and decide to keep moving forward, you're proving to yourself just how capable you are. You're showing yourself that you have what it takes to make it through anything. And every time you face an obstacle and push through it, you're one step closer to your dreams. There's no such thing as an easy road to success. If you want something truly great, you have to be willing to fight for it. You have to be willing to go through the pain, the struggle, and the hardship. But here's the thing, the more you go through, the more you grow. The more you grow, the stronger you become. And the stronger you become, the closer you get to the life you want. Most people quit when things get tough. They throw in the towel when they don't see immediate results, or when they face their first big failure. But you're not like most people. You've got something inside you that refuses to quit. You've got that fire, that hunger, that drive to keep going no matter what. And that's exactly what will set you apart from everyone else. It's the people who refuse to quit, who keep pushing forward no matter how many times they fail, who end up achieving greatness. It's those people who go on to build the life they've always dreamed of, the life that others only talk about. They understand that failure is just part of the process, that every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow, and they use that knowledge to fuel their drive, to push them even further toward their goals. You've heard it before, but it bears repeating. Success isn't just about talent, it's about perseverance. It's about the ability to keep going, even when you don't feel like it, even when everything inside you is screaming at you to stop. Because the truth is, most of the time, it won't feel easy. It won't feel like you're making progress, but you are. Every step you take, every ounce of energy you put into your dreams, is moving you closer to where you want to be. It's in those moments when you want to quit that you have to dig deeper. That's when your real growth happens. The moments when it feels impossible, when you feel like you can't go any further, those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that separate the winners from the losers. It's in those moments that you decide whether you're going to quit or keep going. The path to success is filled with failures, but failure doesn't define you, it refines you. It teaches you lessons that you would never learn if everything went according to plan. Failure is the greatest teacher you'll ever have. It shows you where you need to improve, what you need to change, and what you need to keep doing to move forward. And the best part, failure is temporary. It doesn't last forever. What does last forever is your ability to rise above it, to learn from it, and to keep pushing forward. You are not defined by your failures, but by how you respond to them. Do you let them stop you, or do you use them to fuel your fire and keep moving forward? The key to long-term success is consistency. It's not about doing something once and hoping for a miracle. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and never letting anything deter you from your goal. It's about creating habits that move you closer to your dreams, even on the days when you don't feel like it. Success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It's about the long haul, about committing to the process and staying focused on the end result. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate progress, but remember that every small step you take brings you closer to your goal. Every bit of effort you put in, no matter how small, counts. So don't get discouraged by slow progress. Trust the process, stay consistent, and keep showing up. You'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish when you stay committed to the journey. The power of consistency cannot be overstated. It's what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. It's not about having a perfect plan or doing everything right. It's about putting in the effort, day after day, no matter what. The more consistent you are, the more your efforts compound, and the closer you get to achieving your goals. It's not always going to be easy, and there will be times when you want to give up, but the key is to keep going. Keep doing the work, keep showing up, and stay consistent. Over time, you'll start to see the results of your hard work. And the more consistent you are, the bigger those results will be. So don't stop, keep pushing, keep showing up, and keep putting in the effort. Your success is waiting for you. Chapter 18. The brutal cost of staying the same. Every single moment, every single decision you make shapes who you become. There's no magic moment that turns everything around. It's not some big event or sudden breakthrough. It's the small, consistent choices you make every day that determine your future. The most successful people don't wait for the stars to align. They don't wait for the perfect conditions to arrive before they take action. They create those perfect conditions themselves. They understand that success is about building momentum day by day through the decisions you make, the effort you put in, and the way you handle the obstacles that come your way. What you choose to focus on every single day will shape the outcome of your life. It's easy to get distracted by the noise around you, to be pulled in 1,000 different directions by the demands of work, family, or social media. But when you commit to focusing on what truly matters, on what will move you forward, you unlock a power that most people never tap into. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about choosing to focus on what matters and doing it well. The way you prioritize your energy will decide whether you get closer to your goals or further away. Your focus is a tool that, when used correctly, will carve a clear path to success. The key to getting ahead in life is not working harder, but working smarter. So many people get caught up in the trap of putting in endless hours, thinking that the more they do, the closer they'll get to success. But effort without focus is wasted energy. You can work 100 hours a week, but if those hours aren't focused on the right things, they won't get you anywhere. Success isn't about the amount of time you put in. It's about how efficiently you use that time. The most successful people know this, and they prioritize the right tasks, eliminate distractions, and stay laser-focused on what's important. You've got to learn how to block out the noise. The world is full of distractions that will try to pull you in a million different directions. There will always be things demanding your attention, people pulling at you, and situations that feel urgent. But remember this: urgency isn't always important. In fact, urgency often makes you act impulsively, without a clear direction or purpose. That's when mistakes happen. That's when you waste time and energy on things that don't actually move you toward your goals. The secret to staying focused is learning how to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. You don't have to meet every demand or please everyone around you. Your time and energy are limited, and they're precious. Protect them, guard them fiercely. Focus on what truly matters to you, and everything else can wait. The difference between people who achieve their dreams and those who don't often boils down to one thing: the ability to focus. The people who succeed are the ones who are willing to make tough choices, to prioritize what matters, and to stay committed to their goals even when the going gets tough. They know that success doesn't come from spreading yourself too thin, from trying to do everything at once. It comes from being clear about your goals, eliminating distractions, and consistently moving forward in the direction of your dreams. The key is not just to keep moving, but to keep moving in the right direction. When you have a clear vision of where you want to go and what you want to achieve, it becomes easier to stay focused. Your vision acts like a compass, guiding you through the noise and distractions. When you're clear on your why, it's much harder to get pulled off course. You've got to know what you want and why you want it, and then use that clarity to power your focus. The more specific your vision, the more powerful your focus will be. When you know exactly where you're headed, every decision you make can be aligned with that vision. Every action you take becomes a step closer to achieving it. But here's the catch: staying focused isn't always going to feel easy. In fact, it will often feel uncomfortable. You'll want to give in to distractions. You'll want to take the easy road. You'll want to procrastinate, to delay, to put things off. The temptation to do other things will always be there, whispering to you, convincing you that you deserve a break. But here's the truth: every time you resist those temptations, every time you push past the urge to procrastinate and stay focused, you build discipline. You strengthen your ability to stay on track. And over time, that discipline becomes automatic. It becomes part of who you are. It's not about perfection. It's not about getting everything right every time. It's about progress. It's about showing up every day and making the decision to keep going, even when it's tough. Because in the end, success isn't about never facing difficulties. It's about facing those difficulties head-on, staying focused, and never losing sight of your goals. It's about pushing through the discomfort, the resistance, and the fear, and continuing to move forward no matter what. You're not going to get there overnight, and that's okay. Success is a journey, not a destination. It's about making small focused steps every single day. It's about trusting the process, staying committed, and knowing that every day you stay focused is another day closer to where you want to be. When you focus on the right things, when you align your efforts with your goals, success becomes inevitable. It might take time, but it will happen. And when it does, you'll look back and realize that all those small focused decisions added up to something bigger than you ever imagined. So commit today. Commit to focusing on what matters. Commit to showing up every day, even when it feels tough. Commit to putting your energy into the things that will move you toward your dreams. Because the truth is, the more focused you are, the more unstoppable you become. Focus is the secret weapon of the most successful people. And once you unlock the power of focus, there's nothing that can stand in your way. Chapter 19. Why you must compete with yourself, not others. Success isn't an accident. It's the result of deliberate effort, focus, and commitment over time. It's the small things, the consistent actions, the repeated choices that add up to something massive. But here's the real secret to achieving everything you want, mastering the art of perseverance. It's the unshakable ability to keep going even when things get tough, when the odds are against you, when life tries to knock you down. Perseverance is what separates those who reach their dreams from those who fall short. And the thing is, anyone can develop it. Anyone can build it. Perseverance doesn't just mean holding on when things get hard. It means understanding that challenges are part of the journey, not obstacles to your success. They are the test that proves your commitment to your goals. When life pushes against you, that's when you have the opportunity to rise up and push back harder. The moments when you feel like quitting are the moments that will define you. The question isn't whether you'll face struggles, it's how you choose to respond to them. Do you let them defeat you, or do you use them as fuel to keep going? When you make the decision to persevere, it's like flipping a switch in your mind. You start to see setbacks not as failures, but as lessons. You start to understand that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the process. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fail, they're the ones who fail the most and keep getting back up. They understand that every setback is just a stepping stone, every challenge is just an opportunity to grow stronger. The key is not in avoiding failure, but in learning how to bounce back from it faster, better, and more determined. The moment you stop making excuses for why you can't achieve your goals is the moment everything changes. Excuses are the enemy of perseverance. They sound so convincing, so logical, don't they? They try to tell you that you don't have the time, the resources, the support, or the luck to succeed. But deep down, you know that the only thing standing between you and your dreams is your own willingness to keep pushing. It's not the lack of opportunities or the abundance of obstacles that will stop you. It's the moment you decide to stop trying that will bring everything to a halt. But if you decide that giving up is not an option, there's nothing that can stand in your way. And here's the truth, most people give up too soon. They put in the work for a while, they try hard for a bit, but the minute they face a challenge or encounter resistance, they quit. What they don't realize is that success often comes right after the struggle, right after the point where everyone else would give up. The path to success isn't a straight line, it's full of twists, turns, setbacks, and detours. The people who make it to the top aren't the ones who had it easy, they're the ones who were willing to go through the hardest, most painful moments and keep moving forward anyway. Every time you face adversity and choose to persevere, you're building something inside yourself. You're building resilience. You're building character. You're building a mindset that refuses to accept defeat. And over time, that mindset becomes unshakable. You'll find yourself able to handle challenges that once would have brought you to your knees. You'll be able to push through moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty with a level of confidence that only comes from experience. The more you persevere, the stronger you get, and the more unstoppable you become. One of the biggest keys to perseverance is self-belief. You've got to believe in yourself, in your ability to overcome anything that comes your way. It's easy to believe in yourself when things are going well, but what about when things are tough? What about when nothing is working, when it feels like all your efforts are in vain? That's when your belief in yourself will be tested. And if you're able to hold on to that belief, if you're able to remind yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way, you'll be able to push through even the hardest times. Belief is the fuel that powers perseverance. Without it, you'll give up at the first sign of trouble. But when you believe in yourself, nothing can stop you. But perseverance isn't just about pushing through, it's also about adapting and evolving. It's about knowing when to adjust your approach, when to tweak your strategy, and when to keep going down the same path. Sometimes, perseverance means staying committed even when things aren't working, but other times, it means recognizing when something isn't serving you and changing direction. The ability to stay flexible while staying committed is a powerful skill that will help you keep moving forward, even when you encounter roadblocks. And remember, the process of perseverance isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up. It's about continuing to put one foot in front of the other, even when you don't see immediate results. It's about trusting that your hard work will pay off, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Success takes time, and persistence is what makes that time worth it. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to have it all together. All you need to do is keep showing up, keep putting in the work, keep believing in yourself, even when no one else does. The road to success is long, and it's filled with obstacles, but those obstacles are what make the journey worth it. The people who succeed are the ones who don't just see the finish line, they see every step as part of the process. They know that the struggle is not something to avoid, but something to embrace. They know that perseverance is the key to breaking through the barriers that separate them from their goals. And most importantly, they know that they are capable of overcoming anything. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember this: you're closer than you think. Success isn't about the quick wins or the instant gratification. It's about the long haul, the slow and steady progress that adds up over time. Keep pushing, keep fighting, keep believing in yourself. And most importantly, never stop persevering, because the only way you lose is if you quit, and quitting is never an option. Chapter 20. Your future self is watching. The hardest part of success isn't the journey itself. It's not the hurdles, the setbacks, or the mistakes. The hardest part is the beginning, the moment when you decide to commit to the process. It's when you say to yourself, "I'm going to do this," even when you don't know how it's all going to unfold. It's the commitment to go all in when the road ahead seems uncertain, when the rewards aren't immediately clear, and when everything feels like it's stacked against you. But that's the moment where real change begins. And that's the moment where you decide, no matter what, I will succeed. We often hear about the importance of starting, of taking the first step. But what they don't tell you is that starting is the easy part. It's the staying power, the ability to keep going when nothing seems to be happening. That's the true challenge. This is where most people get stuck. They start, they get excited, they feel the rush of possibility, and then the world starts testing them. Challenges arise, expectations aren't met, the excitement starts to fade, and then the choice is made. Do you keep going, or do you stop? This choice is where the magic lies. The power to push forward when everything feels like it's falling apart, when you feel like your progress is non-existent, is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. The people who make it are the ones who decide that no matter what, they're not going to stop. And they don't stop because they know something deep down. Success isn't about getting everything right all the time. It's about being consistent. It's about showing up even on the days when you don't feel like it. It's about putting in the work when it seems like the universe is telling you to quit. The trick is to take every setback as a lesson, every delay as an opportunity to grow stronger, and every failure as proof that you are moving in the right direction. When you commit to success, you're committing to a process, not just a result. You're saying, I'm not in it for a quick win or an easy route. I'm in it for the long haul. This mindset is a game changer, because when you're committed to the journey, no setback, no failure, and no obstacle can make you question your purpose. You start to realize that every struggle is part of the larger picture, and that's where the power lies. It's in that perseverance, in that dedication, and in the unwavering belief that every step forward counts, no matter how small it seems. But here's the key. It's not just about pushing through the hard moments, it's about pushing through them with a purpose. Without a clear sense of why you're doing what you're doing, the grind will feel unbearable. Without a compelling reason to get up every day and give your best, the daily tasks will start to feel like burdens. And that's where the true power of focus comes in. When you know exactly what you're working toward and why, even the toughest days can be met with passion. Even the days that seem like you're spinning your wheels are filled with purpose. The people who achieve lasting success don't do it because they're lucky or because everything aligns perfectly. They do it because they show up, day in and day out. They do it because they understand that success isn't a straight line, and they're prepared for the twists, turns, and bumps along the way. They do it because they've learned that the only way to fail is to stop trying. And even on the days they feel defeated, they push forward because they know that staying in the game is the only true way to win. We often underestimate the power of showing up. It seems too simple. It feels almost like it's not enough. But what we fail to see is that showing up is everything. Showing up is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the action that moves you forward even when you don't feel like moving. It's the small, consistent steps that add up over time and eventually lead to massive results. When you make the decision to show up, you make the decision to keep growing, to keep learning, and to keep advancing toward your goal. And then there's the mindset shift that happens when you fully commit to your goals. It's when you go from thinking that success is something that happens to you, to realizing that success is something you create. You are the architect of your future. The choices you make today lay the foundation for what's to come. It's not about waiting for things to happen, it's about making them happen. And when you fully embrace this mindset, you start to see every challenge as an opportunity. You stop seeing setbacks as failures and start seeing them as lessons that prepare you for the next level. When you embrace this mindset of consistency and perseverance, it's like you've unlocked a superpower. You become unstoppable. Every obstacle that once seemed like a wall in your way now feels like just another part of the path. The frustrations, the roadblocks, the detours, they no longer stop you. Instead, they fuel you. You begin to see that these challenges are not signs of failure. They are proof that you're on the right track. If the road was smooth, you wouldn't be pushing your limits. You wouldn't be growing. You wouldn't be building the strength you need to succeed. And then there's something else that happens when you fully commit to the process. You stop measuring your success by the speed of your progress. Instead, you measure it by the fact that you're still moving forward. You measure it by how much you've learned, how much you've grown, and how much stronger you've become along the way. Success isn't about how fast you get there, it's about the person you become on the journey. And when you truly commit, you'll realize that the